All right, what's up, guys? YGO Damo here. It's gonna be my first deck profile, my first YouTube video. It's gonna be on Vanquish Soul. I've been playing Vanquish Soul since it came out, and Age of Overlord just dropped, and Zhao Long is the new card, and the deck is just so much better. And I've been doing well with it. I went X2 on Wednesday, on day 0 of Age of Overlord, in 6 rounds of Swiss. So that was good. And then just on Sunday, I went X1, almost went undefeated. I bricked my last in game 3 in the last round. But this is gonna be the deck profile, and yeah, I hope you guys like it. And I know there's going to be a lot of new Vanquish Soul players and a lot of players that are considering playing this deck. So I just want to make one thing clear. If you're not a student of the game, you're not going to like this deck. And what do I mean by student of the game? If you don't study the meta, if you don't know your matchups, if you don't meta call, if you don't know, okay, this hand trap works for this format, this one does. If you want a linear deck and you want a deck that just spits out the same board and does the same thing all the time, this isn't that type of deck. It has a lot of flexibility, a lot of extra deck space, a lot of things you could do with it. So without further ado, I'm going to get into it. And I'll make a video in the future with more in-depth detail of my list, going over my matchups and everything. So I'll start with the main deck. We'll start with the main deck. So 2 Caesar, 3 Borger, 3 Rosin, 2 Mad Love, 3 Zhao Long, 1 Pantera. So the reasoning behind the ratios real quick. I used to play 3 Mad Love before I got Zhao Long, and I realized like Zhao Long searches any Vanquish Soul card. So realistically, you could easily just search your spell or trap. So I think cutting down Mad Love is fine. And I'm running a lot of dark hand traps, so I don't really necessarily need the dark. But yeah, 2 Mad Love is fine now because of the existence of this card. This card is insane because it gives you so much extension. It gives you search. It gives you consistency. It's an amazing card. And I will play it at 3 going forward. I think maybe you could put it down to 2, but I don't see me playing any less than 2. I don't think it's a one of at all. And the reasoning behind 3 Borger and 2 Caesar is because I'm playing, spoiler alert, Shifter in the main. So I want to have a tag out. And I'm also used to playing 2 Caesar with 3 Borger because for the longest time I played Small World. But now, since I have Zhao Long, I no longer play Small World, which I think is fine. I don't think you have to play it anymore. So that's it for the monsters for Vanquish Soul. Now for the spells for Vanquish Soul, 3 Stake Your Soul, 1 Dust Devil, and 1 Continue. So this is a mandatory 3 of. That's obvious. That's standard. 1 and 1. I see people play 2 of this. I've seen people play 2 or 3 of this. I mean, it's player preference, but I think 1 and 1 is perfectly fine. Because if you open both of these in your hand, you're probably going to lose that game. There's been a lot of games where I open up both and I lose that game. You understand? So I don't want to draw more than 1. So 1 and 1 has been fine for me. So I'm going to just stick to that. Maybe in a different kind of build, you could play up the Continue, but like it's good for the grind game, but you really don't want to open that. You want to search it with Mad Love or Zhao Long. God card, 3 TC Boo. Plays under TC Boo in its sleep. This deck, you don't really have to worry about it. Sometimes it conflicts with certain like link plays you have. We'll go into a little later, but 3 Teasable is amazing. It's good for Unchained. It's good for Dragon Link. It's good for Purrely. It's good for a lot of decks that are currently in the meta. I mean, the only decks that it doesn't really hurt is Tier Limit, obviously the Mirror, and like Chimera and Branded. But for the most part, even Flunder, it hits too. So this is pretty good. I've been maining it, and the one time that I stopped maining it, I felt naked without playing it. So I'm just going to continue to play it in the main until there's a format that is just not viable. So consistency cards, 1 Desires, 1 Talents, and 1 Rhoda. So I've seen an OCG list that was doing something like this, and I wanted to test it out, and it's amazing. Like, Rhoda is obviously standard. The 1 Desires, the thing about Desires is that if you play 2, there's always the possibility that you draw into the 2nd Desires. So I like just having the 1, and then it doesn't conflict with Borger's draw like Prosperity did. I used to run Prosperity before I moved my Prosperities because of Rarity Collection. I was just like, you know what? I could thug it out. Zhao Long was going to come. It's a consistency card. So I moved my Prosperities. When I get Prosperities, I would definitely test it to see how I like it. But 1 Desires has been amazing with me. And there's not that many 1-ups other than like the spells and like these. That's why I'm playing the 2 Caesar, the 3 Borger, because you don't want to banish all your names. So it's fine. Talents is good. I mean, if you go 2nd, it's godly. If you go 1st and they hand trap you, you could dig into your deck. And then same thing is, if you open Desires or you open Talents, like, you could end up drawing 5 potentially, because this could draw you 2, this could get you 2, and then Borger could draw you 1. It doesn't happen all the time, but it is definitely a possibility. So those are my consistency cards. I'm not playing Small World anymore because I don't think it's necessary. So I'm going to go into some hand traps. 3 Ash, 3 Shifter, and 2 Bestials. So here I have 3 Ash. It's a fire for Stake Your Soul. You really, in this deck, I have a lot of fires because I want to make sure that I open up a fire and a way to rosin, whether it's Rhoda or rosin itself or Stake Your Soul, because that's full combo right there. 3 Shifter hits a lot of good decks in the meta right now. They fold to this card, so we could main it, and that's why I'm playing the tag outs, like I said before. And the Druid Worm and the Magnuma searches your Caesar, and also could search Druid Worm, which is good, and it's an extra body to have. So those are really the only hand traps I play, and they're all, like in the main, they're all like for the attributes that I need. Now for board breakers, 3 Fenrirs, the 1 Rise Heart, and then 2 Kurikara and a Dogoran. So basically here, in testing, these 3 cards at first were the 3rd Mad Love, a Pluton, and then the new Trap. But I realized with Mad Love, you really don't need a 3rd Mad Love because you could search your spells with Zhao Long. The Pluton, I mean, I love Pluton because it saved me so many times. I almost lost games in tournaments, and it's literally saved me. That 3K booty has definitely helped me, but I don't think it's better than Zhao Long, and it's like it does nothing on its own. And then the Trap, I still got to test it. I think it's good for side and then good into time. But, I mean, I don't know. I'm more comfortable with the spells that I'm running. And then this is diversity, like 2 Kurikaras and then the Dogoran. And you already know, if you're a Vanquish Soul player, you could do the bounce back with Mad Love. And, yeah, you just maximizing on your fire count because I'm playing 13 fires. I want to see a fire in hand so I could get the Zhao Long searches. And that's it for the main deck. So I'll go into the extra deck. Triple Rock, pretty standard. I'm considering cutting 1. You don't usually go into 3, but it does come up. And then, you know, Cash Hero Unicorn is still a card. People could rip cards out of your extra deck. So, I mean, it is what it is. I like 3 Rock, but I think there's other cards I could consider playing. 1 Phoenix, 1 IP, 1 SP, 1 Apollosa, 1 access code, 1 black luster. So this is my link. You could link climb easily because of Zhao Long, so I'm maximizing on links for sure. And I think this is potentially cuttable. You could definitely make this if you end on an IP, you end on like Zhao Long and like a continued set, you could get an Appaloosa going first. So it came up in testing where I had all these bodies on board and I was like, an Appaloosa would be nice right now, but I'm definitely consider changing this into Goddess because, you know, Noir is still a thing. So that's my link. That's my link lineup right there. And then I'm going to go to XZs. 1 Zeus, 1 Dweller, 1 Superstar, 1 Boxer, King Dempsey, 1 Baguska, and 1 Evil Swarm. So Evil Swarm is to blow up boards. Zeus is to blow up boards. Baguska is to slow down the game and just, you know, when you set up Rock with Baguska, like you have so much control of the game. And then against certain decks, this just like they have to pass turn. They can't do anything. They can't even out it. Some decks can't even out it. King Dempsey is consistency if you don't see rosin, which I mean now it's easier. I think the deck is more consistent, but still sometimes you don't open up the rosin. So, but King Dempsey is good. Superstar Slayer is pretty awesome. It's pretty good. It comes up. Dweller I think is mandatory because of all the graveyard stuff, and then Zeus is Zeus. So that right there is the extra. Now I'm gonna quickly go into the side. Here's my choices. I got 1 Thrust, 1 Duster, 2 Lightning Storms, 3 Evenlies. So this is all for like, this is for back row, and then this searches you any normal spell trap. So Rescue Ace is gonna be popular. So I wanted something in the beginning of format to combat that. And this has been pretty fine with me. It's been pretty good. And for going first options, 3 anti-spells, 3 barrier, and then 3 drolls. So barrier is really good into Purrely, good into RDA, the synchro decks, good into fusions. So I think it's good. And then you set it off thrust if you get hand trapped. And the anti-spell is really good. It cuts off people's talents. It cuts off people's thrust. It cuts off Dark Ruler if that becomes popular again. So I think anti-spell is really good in the side for this deck because you're playing into thrust. You're playing into talents, you know? So there's that. And then 3 droll. For me, I think I don't like maining droll. I like siding droll because the thing about droll is that you trying to add on your turn, on your opponent's turn with rosin, with Zhao Long. So you really don't want to main this. I think this is really good going into the combo decks, when you know for sure you're going to go second. So that's why I'm playing droll. And the list is pretty good so far. There's some things I want to tweak going forward, but for the most part, I don't got no complaints. This is the beginning of the format, and I'm doing pretty good. My record in 2 tournaments is 8-3, so 8 wins, 3 losses. So with that, I mean, I can't complain. I got first blood, day 0 of the tournament on top, so I'm pretty happy. And here goes my token. But yeah, that's the deck profile. If you got any comments, you got any questions, leave it down below. And I'm signing off. I want to make another video in depth talking about my matchups and all that. If you guys would like to see that, you guys let me know. If you guys got any suggestions or any texts, let me know. If you're a Vanquish Soul player, big ups to you, because y'all already know the deal. We out here, they don't respect our deck, but we keep topping and we keep winning, and we're gonna make them respect our deck. So that's it, man. I'm signing out like poof.